As a teacher, it's kind of annoying because I constantly have to be watching and making sure nobody's doing it in class or making sure nobody has them.
How do you feel about vaping has affected the youth and community within your school?
I think with youth, it's made it seem like smoking and using nicotine is more like acceptable. For a while there, teenagers smoking cigarettes had gone down, and now using nicotine's increased again with teenagers vaping. And also, I feel like it's affected our school community because we can't even leave all the bathrooms unlocked anymore because kids are vaping and all that stuff.
And what are the health risks involved in vaping?
Similar things to cigarettes, right? Well, you still have the nicotine, and it's actually a higher nicotine count of some of the things that kids are smoking now than an actual pack of cigarettes. So, I mean, that's dangerous, and that's getting people addicted to it early on. And then it might be healthier than smoking a cigarette, like for your lungs, but I don't really know. But the nicotine can be higher, so that's
story you were about to hear.
And then how do you feel about something that should be done about vaping?
Only the names have been changed.
like community-wide or school-wide?
Either or.
School-wide, I mean, we've been cracking down on this as much as we can. It's not really, we can't search every kid that comes into the school. It's not something that could actually happen. But they have been doing things like making it so that, flavors aren't available or things like that that are more appealing to teenagers. So things like that could continue to be pushed through. And that could benefit because then it's less appealing.
What do you believe in the pros and cons of vaping?
I don't really believe in any pros. I think the cons is that it's still getting people addicted to chemicals they shouldn't be.
If you could send a message or give advice to the youth who vape, what would it be?
Stop.
E-cigarettes, vape pens, Juuls. They're often marketed as safe alternatives to smoking, but their cool designs, fun flavors, and the fact that they're easy to hide means it's not only smokers who want them, it's kids. And for kids, they're definitely not safe. Teens should absolutely not use Juuls, e-cigarettes, or any similar products. Here's why. When kids use Juuls or other e-cigarettes, they're getting a big dose of nicotine. This disrupts their brain development. It changes the connections between brain cells, causing problems with learning, mood, and impulse control. It makes depression and anxiety worse.
And as any smoker can tell you, nicotine is highly addictive. That makes it very difficult to quit e-cigarettes. And vaping makes it much more likely that kids will smoke real cigarettes later. It's true that a few e-cigarette brands don't contain nicotine, but most of them do. And all of them contain other dangerous chemicals like these. Formaldehyde, which is found in glue and embalming fluid. Diacetyl, which causes lung disease. Benzene, that's a carcinogen linked to leukemia. Some tests have also found metal particles in the e-cigarette vapor. The devices themselves can also be unsafe. They can explode.
The long-term effects of using e-cigarettes are unknown.
And because there are no standards, we don't know the ingredients in these products.
We don't want children to take unnecessary risks with their health
and begin a lifelong addiction to nicotine.
How do you feel about the new trend of vaping?
I feel like it's alright for like adults, not for like young teens that are like in high school. You feel?
How do you feel vaping has affected the youth and community within our school?
Pretty bad. I mean, there's kids always getting busted in the bathroom, which is pretty bad and pretty sad because you wouldn't expect that from like a lot of teenagers, and you'd expect them to be focusing more like on school and on vaping.
What are the health risks involved in
cancer? You get lung disease. You get cancer. You get throat cancer.
Do you feel that something should be done about vaping and why?
I feel like it should be more of a controlled substance and to allowing, the kids, like the teenagers, to be allowed to get a hold of vaping devices.
What do you believe the pros and cons are of vaping?
Pros, it probably helps adults quit smoking cigarettes, but cons, all the teenagers, smoking when they shouldn't at a young age. That's the only con.
If you could send a message or give advice to the youth who vape or break.
Don't smoke, it's not good for you, man. Think about your health, think about your future. Health insurance, it's not cheap.
Most of us have heard about the dangers of smoking. However, e-cigarettes and vaping is the new trend. And the truth is, it just hasn't been around long enough for science and medical experts to track its long-term health effects. A number of the harmful chemicals found in cigarettes are also found in e-cigarettes and vape pen e-liquids. If you have questions about vaping, be sure to talk to your doctor.
How do you feel about the new trend of vaping?
Oh my gosh, I think it's horrific. I grew up in a family of smokers, so I have been around smoking my entire life. I never actually was a smoker, but I think cigarettes were bad enough. And then when kind of those vape things came out, I think people thought they were going to be safer, but I've heard a lot of research that says they are just as dangerous, if not more so sometimes, than actual cigarettes. And so addictive. So absolutely, bad deal. Bad deal.
How do you feel about vaping and it affecting the youth in the community within the school?
I think, and I know a lot of times teenagers don't necessarily agree with us, but you know, they try things because they look cool or they seem fun. And I know in terms of vaping, they have all those sugary, sweet, tastes. So the taste of it is so much more appealing to teens, and I think they market towards younger people. But in terms of the long-term consequences, I just don't think many of us, and it's not just teenagers, adults too, you don't think about those long-term consequences. Like I have a great friend right now whose mom is in the hospital on oxygen, and she has smoked cigarettes her whole life. She'd probably be smoking on the oxygen tank if she could. But when you see those real-life examples of what it does to people's health and how many people die from lung cancer and different things associated with smoking, I just wish those would make an impact on the youth before they get into it, think it's fun, and then they get addicted, because then it's so much harder to quit.
What are the health risks involved in vaping?
Well, the obvious risks to your lungs, to your ability to breathe, all of those that come with just vaping the cigarettes or the tobacco. But then I think even in our own community, and I know on the news we've all seen when they do those THC, or when THC is in those e-cigs, etc., that in high concentrations, students have been sent to the hospital. Even at Cleveland High School, they've already had, I think, at least 1 to 2 cases of that happening, kind of like that overdose. And it's very scary. The people I know who saw it, very scary. So I think those are additional dangers of doing that with the illegal substance.
Do you feel that something should be done about vaping?
Oh, I absolutely. I do know there are some measures to get even that tobacco, the flavored tobacco, out of the gas stations, so it wasn't as easily accessible. I think that's a great first step. But I think it's kind of like drugs. In the United States, we have tried for so many years to figure out what works in terms of, you know, the public announcements that we make, or all the different programs, kind of like the Don't Do Drugs in like the 80s, or Just Say No, and they just don't work very well. So I honestly don't know what needs to be done, but absolutely, you know, definitely following up, enforcing when people sell tobacco products to minors, making sure that those people are prosecuted, just all those things that we already do. And they do a great job in some aspects, but it's never ever enough. Never ever enough.
Do you believe that there are any pros and cons in vaping?
I can't think of a pro. I can't. I guess unless you were vaping something that obviously wasn't dangerous to your body, but I don't think anybody's doing that, whether it's tobacco or THC. And then the cons are just what I've talked about before, all the health risks, the starting so young that your body's not even developed, people that are hospitalized, the risk of developing cancer, eventual death that has come to people. I literally saw in the news some guy, I don't know if you guys saw this, that had vaped. He was like 24, and a piece of it got lodged into his, somehow it exploded and killed him. I mean, so I'm sure that's highly unusual, and people look at that like that would never happen to me, but it did. It happened to somebody, so very dangerous.
If you could send a message or give advice to the youth who vape, what would it be?
Well, obviously my first message would be don't even try it. Don't even try it. But more than that, you educate yourself around what goes into your body. And you learn more about what you're putting into your body and some of those long-term effects and what it can eventually do. And then place it with other healthy behaviors. You know, I understand, because I mentioned yesterday, I have my own children who have been vaping some also. And they talk about how it relaxes you and it calms you. And there's just so many other things that you can do. I don't know, exercise, yoga, movies, hanging out with your friends, music. I know it sounds silly, but legit, those are things that are healthy, good for you, and will help you lead a long, healthy life.
It's becoming a popular trend. Smokers are stomping out their cigarettes and picking up their vapes.
We see so many patients switching from traditional cigarettes to electronic cigarettes.
With a multitude of flavors, health experts say the new form of smoking is a big attraction for teenagers.
Electronic cigarettes are becoming more popular among the teens. It is becoming an epidemic.
An epidemic that many believe to be a safe way to smoke.
These chemicals could be containing high concentration of nicotine to zero nicotine, and other chemicals like formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acetylpropanol, diacetyl, and vegetable glycol. And it has different flavoring ingredients also.
While many of these chemicals are found in certain foods, health experts say that doesn't mean they're safe to inhale.
When they are heated to high temperature, they undergo several chemical reactions, and this can cause carcinogenic properties. The damage finally caused by this is called popcorn lung.
At this point, health experts don't have enough evidence to prove the long-term health consequences from vaping. But advanced provider Minnie Matthews says what they can prove is vaping contains more chemicals than cigarettes.
It is not a safer option. We need pure air. That's all our lungs need.
No matter how you smoke, health experts strongly encourage patients to quit. The safest option to protect your long-term health.
How do you feel about the new trend of vaping?
I hate it. It's more dangerous to juveniles than it is than cigarettes ever were.
How do you feel vaping has affected the youth in our community within the school?
It's a huge influence on the students. We've actually within this school district, we've actually had students in elementary school have jewels on them. And the problem is nobody really knows the effects of what vape sticks can do to you.
What are the health risks involved in vaping?
Well, there's the one biggest thing that they're talking about is popcorn lung, which is irrecoverable. Everybody was worried about the tar and the nicotine in cigarettes, and when you stop smoking regular cigarettes, your lungs actually start to heal themselves with the chemicals that are in this vape juice. Nobody knows, like I said, the real effects of it, but there is a phenomenon that they did a study on that's called popcorn lung. And what happens is your lungs turn really hard, like popcorn. They never heal. They never heal from that.
Do you feel that something should be done about vaping, and why?
Yes, I think they need to do an all-out federal ban on it, because you're basically smoking chemicals. If it was an all-natural tobacco, it would be better for you than smoking and burning toluene and wax and all these other chemicals that you have no idea how it's going to affect your entire system.
What do you believe the pros and cons are in vaping?
Honestly, I don't see any pros. Other than, I will give one pro. They don't stink like cigarettes. Cigarettes is nasty smell. Of course you have all the different flavors and smells from the e-cigarettes and vaping. But that's the only pro, is that they smell better. The con is, I personally think that they are more detrimental.
If you could send a message or give advice to the youth who vape, what would it be?
Stop immediately. You will pay for it in the long run. It will come back and haunt you when you're older.
Charger cord with it.
Oh yeah, this is nothing.
This is...
This is just a sample of it. Wow.
Every single one of these was from this high school, with the exception of that bottle over there.
Yeah. I saw it there.
Don't be fool. Oh, look, say it again.
They're out of sight pretty good, man. But
honestly,
man,
though, I don't know why the
faces
decorator
like
made
that.
it all cute.